So people who have not attended the demo also no need to worry. Today is the first class what we'll be starting. So we are learning something related to SAP R3. SAP R3. So R3 stands for three-tier architecture. Three-tier architecture. So whenever I start any class, I will assume that no one knows anything. So you might be already knowing what is a three-tier architecture, but some people might not know. So let's understand what is the three-tier architecture. And right now, SAP is S4. So what is S4? We'll see later. First, we'll see what is three-tier architecture. To write any program, to write any program, the developer has to keep three things in mind. First one, user interface. User interface. Second one, the main logic, business logic. Third one, database. For any programming language, these three plays a major role: user interface, business logic, and database. So what are these three? So the best operating system which is available in the market, the best operating system which is available in the market is Unix. No one can hack Unix. No one can hack Unix. Till now, no one has hacked Unix system. And if you run 1,000 programs also, this won't hang. Stable, robust, security wise very strong. The next one is Windows. Windows. Actually, it is not Windows. The next one is Linux, which is best. The next one is Windows. Like this, it will come in this order. But if you see how many people use Windows out of 100 people, if you say 90 people are using Windows, 5 people are using Linux, 5 people are using Unix. Even though Unix is the best, very few people are using it. Why? Because it's not user friendly. Now in the Windows system, if you want to copy a file, simply Control C, Control V or drag and drop easily. A user can easily handle. A person who don't know computers also can use a computer with Windows system. But if you want to use the Unix system, at least you should know basic programming. We call it as a shell script. To move a file from one folder to another folder, we have to write a program, one line of code. And instead of uppercase, if you give lowercase, again you have to type. So because of all these headaches, people don't use Unix even though it's the best. Let's assume you are writing a best program. You are writing a best program. Now to use this program, I have to write some commands. I have to write some commands. Then who will use this program? Only people who can remember the commands. That means only the educated people can use it. So the number of audience who will be using your program will be minimized. Minimized. So we should keep in mind who are the end users. Who are the end users? Everyone who knows computers only don't use your program. People who are illiterate also should use your program. So you have to design the screen interface in such a simple way that anyone can use it. If you don't create the user interface, you don't create a user interface. User interface is nothing but the screen, front end, UI. UI developers, what we call as UI developers. If this is not simple, then the number of people who are using your system will be less. Example, why people play Candy Crush, Temple Run, etc. more in their mobiles. Just touch, move the finger. Automatically everything will go. You need not use your brain much. But how many people play chess in their mobile? Everyone will have chess in the mobile, but who will play? Out of 100 people, 4 or 5 people will play. So people don't like to use brains. This is a simple rule. People don't like to use their brains. So we have to make sure that our program should be as much simple as possible, that without using a brain they should operate. User friendly. For Windows, this is the best. Windows, this user friendly screens. Interaction is very best. The user interacts on a button. The button will generate the code and control the program. So it's easy to handle. So if your user interface is not properly designed, program will be a failure. Second one, user interface is very friendly, very interactive, but your business logic is weak. Your business logic is weak. That means when you select a record and delete, two or three records are getting deleted. Or when you are selecting a button to do some copy paste, it is doing something else. If your business logic is weak, again, people won't show interest. This is the main logic which is controlling the entire program. If this is weak, no one will show interest. Third one, your data will get stored in the database. If your database is weak, if your database is weak, that means if anyone can steal your data, then why they will store the data here? So your database should be strong and it should work faster. Your database should save the data, retrieve the data in a faster way. If your program does not retrieve the data in a faster way, then your program will be a failure. So an ideal program should balance these three: user interface, business logic, database. These three it has to balance. So older version in 1970s and 80s, 70s and 80s, the program used to be written like that. So example, I am designing one screen. I am designing one screen where I will keep some information like employee ID, employee name, employee country, employee city, employee phone, etc. And then I will create some buttons. Some buttons, save, delete, update. Like this, I will create some buttons. Once the user enters the values, once the user enter the value, where to save? My screen don't know. This is only a screen. So to control the screen, we are creating a program. We are creating a program. And in the program, we are controlling each button. If save, what to do? Insert the data. If delete, what to do? Delete the data. If update, what to do? Modify the data. Modify the data. Like this, we are writing some logic. Now, where to insert? Where to delete? So I have to create one table. I have to create one table. I have to create one table. So whenever you are writing any program, for sure you have to do all these three. Table design, to control the table, a program. Now to make it user friendly, a screen. User will enter the values on the screen and my program will check whether the inputs are correct or wrong. If the inputs are correct, my program will save the data or retrieve the data. So let's assume we are writing this program with Visual Basic, VB, Visual Basic or C or C++. With whatever programming language you are creating your screen, with the same programming language, we have to control the program. So there is a dependency between these two. Between these two, there is a dependency. With which program we are controlling the screen. With the same program, we are controlling the program. Now, in the program, we are using some database commands. Suppose you are using dbase. Suppose you are using dbase. You have to use dbase commands. Olden days in 80s, dbase was popular. Now Oracle is popular, but at that time dbase was popular. So if you are using dbase, you have to use dbase commands. If you are using MySQL, then you have to write MySQL commands. That means what database you are using, the same database commands you have to use. So presentation is depending on application is depending on database. Dependency, presentation is depending on application is depending on database. So this is the architecture of single tier architecture, one tier architecture. In a one tier architecture, with whatever programming language you are using, why I mentioned here VB, because Microsoft Visual Basic is very simple to design, simple to handle. Anyone can easily write the programs. Drag and drop. Drag and drop. So anyone can easily design the programs. When you are designing the Visual Basic screen, the main program also should be done in Visual Basic. Now, Microsoft products can understand. Microsoft products can understand only MySQL commands, olden days. We are discussing about 1980s. So definitely they have to use MySQL database only. Microsoft database is MySQL. So Windows launched its products, Microsoft launched its products with this architecture, single tier architecture. So when Microsoft is popular these days, nowadays it is popular. But 25 years back, it was a failure because MySQL database is very weak database. Till today also it is considered as a weak database. In the market, whatever databases are available, out of which MySQL database is the weakest of all. Security wise, anyone can easily hack. A Windows system can be hacked by anyone. So if you see the Windows system regularly, the hackers will always target the Windows systems only because it is easy to hack. That means your data is not secure on the MySQL database. When the companies know that your database is not secure, why they will use it? Your programs are user friendly, but your database is not secure. So no one has purchased the Microsoft architecture, single tier architecture. So few companies used to do it. Whoever want to use the personal system for gaming, etc., they used to buy. But all the banks, etc., never used to use this system because your data is not secure. So automatically what Microsoft did, they have launched a new architecture. What is that? They know that their database is weak. So what they did, they keep the presentation, that means screen and business logic as it is. They kept these two as it is. Nothing changed here. Even the code here also, they have written the code also here on MySQL only. MySQL only. But they are saying that use whatever database you want. My program can interact with the database. Use whatever database you want. My program can interact with any database. How a MySQL command can interact with other databases? Example, let's assume Oracle. Oracle is the best database available right now. Oracle claims that if your system is crashed, I can give you each and every byte of data. We have sophisticated tools which can retrieve everything and I will give you. First thing is it will never crash. If it crashes also, I can give you the data. And Oracle database is indexing is very high, so the data retrieval will be very fast. When you compare all the databases, Oracle is the top. So out of 100 companies, 90 companies are using Oracle. So how a MySQL command can be communicating with Oracle? So they have developed a software unit here, which is called as interpreter. So what the interpreter will do, it will convert the MySQL commands into Oracle commands. So the person who is sitting and working here, X, least bother what database they are using. This interpreter we can convert into anything. So here if you see, this is a separate layer. This is a separate layer. So two layers. This is a separate layer. This is a separate layer. So the 90s, early ending of 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, all those areas at that time, this architecture was popular. Two-tier architecture. We call it as a two-tier architecture. Also called as client-server architecture. The front end, what you interact, is the client. The back end acts as a server. So people used to install Unix system in the back end. In the back end Unix system they used to install. On the Unix system, they used to install Oracle. No one can hack Unix system. Oracle is the best database which works fast. So security wise, Unix is providing the security. Database retrieval, Oracle is providing user friendliness. Windows system are user friendly. So two tier architecture was popular in the entire 90s. But by the time end of 2000 era starts, so internet started around 97, 98. Internet started, people started using internet. Now everyone is using, no one is going to the shop, everyone is doing everything on the internet only. So earlier 2000s, what they used to do, let's assume. So let's assume we have web browsers, Internet Explorer. We have Mozilla. We have Firefox. Like this, we have different types of browsers. A program written for Internet Explorer. A program written for Internet Explorer won't work for Mozilla. So I have to write the same program again. A program written for Mozilla won't work for Firefox. Again, I have to write program 1 again. So how many explorers are there? That many times I have to write the program. In other words, in simple, a program written for Windows, a C program written for Windows cannot be executed in Unix. So we have to write a separate program for Unix, because in Windows we have screen elements. So using screen elements in C, I can write a program. But the same program, if I execute in Unix, it won't work. So I have to write one more program for Unix system. So we have something called as ANSI C, Turbo C. ANSI C is for Unix and Turbo C is for Windows. Now Mac system came into picture. Again, I have to write the program for Mac system. Now Linux came into picture. Again, I have to write one program for Linux. Because a program written for one OS operating system won't work for one more operating system. But let's assume this case. I have, say, mobiles. I'm taking 3 mobiles. Now, let's take iPhone. Let's take Samsung. Let's take BlackBerry. The screen interface for all the 3 is different. The look and feel for all the 3 is different. But when you say SMS or call, the same thing should happen. That means the business logic is always the same, whatever may be the interface. The screen user interface. One person likes the screen in one way. So one company is designing the screen in one way. Why I have to write separate program? Why I should write a separate program for this, separate program for this, separate program for this? When the logic is same. When I say call, the same thing happen. When I say SMS, the same thing should happen. When I say video player, the same thing should happen. So ultimately, what we do here, the same program should be used. And already the database is independent. Already we can use any database we want because we have one interpreter. But two-tier architecture won't work for this type of systems, because in a two-tier architecture, the screen and the code is dependent. Because of this dependency, I have to write separate programs for separate OS. If I can remove this dependency, it will be advantage. So what they did, again they removed this layer, separated the layer, and again one more interpreter was there here. But we don't call this as interpreter, we call that as dispatchers. But what is the work of the dispatcher? It can connect to any other system and get the data. Process it, and give the result back. So now there is no dependency in the first tier architecture, tier 1 architecture. This is depending on this. That means screen is depending on the program is depending on the database. If any one thing fails, all the 3 fails. In the second one, The program and screen are dependent. The database is independent. Database independent programs. You can use any database you like. In the three-tier architecture, everything are independent. The presentation is independent, the program is independent, the database is independent. Now let's assume you are working for the Airtel in earlier 80s. As a developer, you have to write the screen, you have to write the program, you have to write the database, everything you have to control. Later, I need not worry about the database. The company can use any database. I will concentrate only on the screen design and the program. But how many operating systems are there in the market? That many programs I have to write. The same logic is repeated again. The logic will be the same, but the screen will be designed for every OS separately. But right now, if I am a developer for Airtel, I need not worry who will access. I need not worry where you will stay, where will you stay, store the code. I can write an independent program. I can concentrate only on my business. I can concentrate only on my business logic. So database independent programs, application independent programs. So OS independent and database independent programs are three tier. So Java supports three tier, but in Java we call it as MVC. V, view, where the user interacts. It's a screen where the user interacts. View. C, controller which controls the application, the main program. M, model, nothing but the database. MVC architecture. In Java, the three-tier architecture is called as MVC architecture. In SAP, the three-tier architecture is called as three-tier architecture only, where this is called as presentation. This is called as application. This is called as database. Three layers: presentation layer, application layer, database layer. Any programming language which supports three-tier are database independent, application independent. Now I need not write a separate program for Unix, Linux, etc. I can write an independent program which is not dependent on any system. Once I write a program for Windows, I can use the same program for Unix also as well as Linux also. So that's the advantage of SAP. So that is three-tier architecture. In three-tier architecture, the first layer is presentation layer, where user interacts. Second layer, application, where the program main logic executes. Third one, database layer. Any database you can use with SAP. So all these years, all the 25 years, SAP don't have its own database. So some companies use MySQL, some companies use Oracle, some companies use something else. But from past 5 years, SAP is having its own database. So SAP is putting a rule: start using my database instead of Oracle database. Use my database. SAP's database is HANA. HANA is a database. That's it. SAP own database is HANA. But still, right now, out of 100 projects, 95 projects are still running on non-HANA. That means Oracle or MySQL only. So no one started, not no one, only 5% of companies started using HANA. So what SAP is saying, okay, next 5 years I will allow. After 2027, I don't support other databases. You have to use my HANA database, because no one is buying HANA database. So how can SAP sell? So it is putting a forced rule. Everyone has to use HANA only. So if not now, in the next down the lane, in the next 5 years, you have to upgrade your skills, Abap skill, to HANA database. What is that? We'll see in the next topics. So HANA is a separate batch. So without the core Abap, we cannot learn HANA Abap. So we are into core Abap. Right now in the market, we have something called as S4. Actually, it is not S4. It is R4. First, SAP launched R2, two-tier architecture. Two-tier architecture was a failure. So they launched three-tier architecture. In 1996, they launched three-tier architecture. Three-tier architecture was a big success because I need not worry about the operating system. I need not worry of the database. Install the SAP and use it in any system I want. So it was very popular. These days, from the past 4 or 5 years, there is something called as cloud computing. Cloud computing. So to explain the cloud in a simple way, if you want to use Windows system, suppose if you want to use MS Office, you have to buy and install. Until you install MS Office, you cannot use it. So where you have to install on your laptop, you have to install the MS Office, then only you can use it. This was the concept before 5 6 years. But these days, if I want to use Word document or Excel, I am not installing anything on my system. I can go to the G drive. In the Google Drive already, MS Word, Excel, everything is there. I can use there. That means I am not installing physically. Somewhere already Google has installed. I am using their copy. So I can install the SAP system somewhere in the third party system and I can use it. I need not buy the license separately and install. I can use it from the cloud. Cloud is a fourth layer. Cloud computing. These days all the softwares are supporting cloud. So SAP also started cloud. Cloud is the fourth layer. So R4. So in the R4, what will come extra? Fourth layer. Fourth layer will be cloud. But what SAP says, my fourth layer is very simple layer, simple layer. So they are naming it as S4, simple four-tier architecture. S4 HANA, S4 HANA, S4 HANA, it's nothing new. It's a cloud with HANA database. That's it. So people will cash on your ignorance. So people, what they will do, they will show that S4 is something new, completely different. They will market in such a way and they'll claim 1 lakh, 2 lakhs. It's a new course, it's very high-fi new course. You have to learn that. You have to learn. We accept it. But it's not that much tough or that much difficult. It's a very simple thing. It's a database related changes. What are the new changes we have to learn? It's a simple 3 to 4 weeks training. Some people can complete in 3 weeks, some people can complete in 4 weeks. Maximum 4 weeks. Beyond that, there is nothing in HANA. So it is treated as a separate batch. Forget about HANA. We are into R3. So now what are the things we have to learn? We have to learn database design, application, presentation. Many people, application, nothing but the Abap part. Abap part. So many people, what they will do, they will concentrate on Abap part. They won't concentrate on the database. So let's assume you want to build a nice building, skyscraper, say like Burj Khalifa, or a very big building with some 500 or 1000 floors. Now the foundation also should be that much strong. If the foundation is weak, automatically for a small rain, the program will collapse. The same thing here, if your database is weak, your program will collapse. Amazon, when it launched for the first time, they have kept some great Indian festival. Once the people started logging in, the number of users logged in are very high. So the database cannot withstand that many transactions. So the database collapsed, crashed. So within 15 minutes of the opening, the site crashed. No one able to use it. So later they decided, okay, this software won't work for the big huge products. So they shifted their technology to SAP. So now they are using SAP so that it can withstand. So your program, if your program want to be strong, you have to make sure your database is perfect. So we are learning database fundamentals. Points to remember while creating database. Now, this theory part is enough for you. This theory part is enough for you. Now, when SAP is launched, what is there, it is launched, who has developed it, etc. No one, once you come for the interview, no one will ask you, write a essay on SAP. So in the interview, no one will ask you all these details. So wasting 2 3 days time on such type of scrap, I don't like. So whatever is important for the interview purpose and real time, I will concentrate those more rather than the theory part. So in point of theory part related to SAP, you should know what is the three-tier architecture. Why SAP is popular? SAP is popular because I can write database independent programs, at the same time system independent programs. Any operating system, my SAP will work. any database, my SAP will work. So I'm writing a program in such a way. Today, Windows is popular. I will install SAP on Windows. Tomorrow, Linux came. I will install the SAP in Linux and I will continue my program. I need not rewrite the program. Any new OS comes, I will shift to that without changing the program. My program will work for all OS, all databases. That's what the main aim. So any program which supports these are popular. Right now, Java is popular because of three-tier architecture, that is MVC. SAP is popular because of three-tier architecture. So now we have to remember the points to remember the database. Rule 1. Rule 1. Never create a single table to store the entire data. Second one, rule 2. Never create too many tables to store the data. So if you see here, point 1 is contradicting point 2. Point 1 is contradicting point 2. Point 2 says don't create too many tables. Point 1 says don't create a single table. What is the issue? So let's see this now. A company wants to store the following information. The company wants to store the name of the employee, the gender of the country of the employee, the city of the employee, gender of the employee, address of the employee, phone number of the employee, basic pay of the employee, salary of the employee, education of the employee, designation of the employee, attendance of the employee. So whenever you join a company, you will be submitting your documents, your personal details, your salary details, your education details, your designation details, your experience details, your attendance details. So this is the information we have to store. So to store this information, we have to create a database. The data will always get stored in the database. So we have to store the data in the database. In the database, we have to create a table. In the database, we have to create a table. Now, how many tables shall I create? Interview question. This is how the interview question will be done. We will give you one scenario. For this scenario, how many tables to be created? First question, how many tables to be created? Let's assume one table is enough. Let's assume one table is enough. So I am creating a table. Now, so yesterday I gave you the introduction how to create a table, 3 screens. If I navigate through 3 screens, the table will be created. So once the table is created, we'll do the data entry somewhat like this. Srinivas in India, in Hyderabad, gender male, phone number, salary, education, designation, experience, attendance, present. When is present? I'm saying just present. When? So when we say attendance, common sense thing, the end user will say, I want to store attendance. So common sense, when we say attendance, automatically date also should come. Sir, end user didn't ask date, sir. He said attendance. Attendance means date wise we have to store attendance. For 30 days, I am paying 30,000. If he is on 5 days leave, how much I have to pay? 25,000. Now, how do I know when he's on leave? Which date is on leave? So ultimately, we have to add the date and attendance. So now, 1st August, present. Now, second day, I won't change this to 2nd August. I won't change it to 2nd August. So what I will do, I will keep this record as it is, and I will create a new record. New record for day 2, for day 3, for day 4, for day 5. So every day, 2nd August, 3rd August, 4th August, I have to take attendance. Present, present, absent, present, like this I have to take. So for 1 month, 30 attendances will be there. 30 attendance will be there, average 30 or 31, depending on the days. So if you take for 1 month, so see what is happening. This entire thing is repeating. That means you are unnecessarily storing the junk data in the table. Junk information is stored in the table. Now, next month in September, suppose now I'm in August, shall I delete the May attendance or April attendance, old attendance? I should not. I should never delete the records. Now, if I go to Accenture and ask my 4 years back data, so due to some reason, a police inquiry came and said, show me in 2016. This guy has came to office on this time or not. Show me. So Accenture is saying, no, I have deleted the data. Not possible. We have to keep it. So we will store the data for the lifelong. So we should not delete the data. So you are storing junk information again. Now today my name is Srinivas, tomorrow my name is Rajesh, today I am male, tomorrow I am female. Like this, genders, etc. won't change. These are fixed. This data is fixed. So if you store the entire data in a single table, data redundancy, data redundancy, duplication of data. If data is duplicated, that is junk data, junk information, retrieval will become slow. Retrieval will become slow. Now let's assume I have given you a cupboard in which you are storing your books. From UKG, LKG, first standard, second standard, every book you are storing in the cupboard. Now I'm asking you, get me one book. How much time it will take to search? Because you have kept all the books together, so when you're searching, it will take some time. So what SAP says is, if you create a single table like this, in the junk data, if you are searching for a particular record, it will take a lot of time. So don't store the entire data in a single table. Now, what I can do best? So what I can do here, I can split this data into like this one table. So I will create here table 1 and I will create this one table 2, table 2, table 2. If I create two tables, what happens here? Now this entire data, anything which is not repeating, బుజ్జులు ఆ ఇంటర్నెట్ తీసుకురాది. Good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So the internet disconnected,
Yes.
so power gone. So I got the power back. Let's continue. Okay. So now, if you store the entire data in a single table, the data is repeating itself again and again and again. So to avoid this, what I can do is I am creating two tables. One is for master data. So this type of data which changes rarely. You won't change your name, country, city, gender daily. So any data which changes very rarely we'll maintain in one table, and any data which changes regularly, attendance, we'll create in one table. So what I will do now, I can maintain the attendance daily. I can maintain the attendance daily, but I will maintain this data only once. So now if you see, this data will repeat every day, but this data is fixed. Rarely you will change the phone number. We'll come to this and change the phone number. Whatever is getting changed, we'll change it. That's it. So we will divide the data into two parts: master data, transaction data. Master data, data which changes very rarely. Transaction data, which keeps on repeating regularly. But the point to be remembered here is third one. Whenever we are storing the data in multiple tables, at least one common field, one common field should be there in both the tables to link it. At least one common field should be there in both the tables to link it. Example, I have two people. One is Srinivas, one is Raj. One is Srinivas, one is Raj. Two employees in my company. Now, he is also having attendance. He is absent, absent, present, present. Like this. Now, how do I know which one is Srinivas attendance, which one is Raj attendance? I don't know. So whenever we are splitting the data into multiple tables, at least one common field should be there in both the tables. So as of now, I am taking common field as name. Now I can say this is Srinivas attendance. This is Srinivas attendance. Srinivas. This is Raj attendance. So as of now, everything looks perfect. But what happens after few days, one more Srinivas came into picture. One more Srinivas somewhere came into picture. Now he will also will have attendance. Srinivas attendance. One more Srinivas. Now how can I identify this Srinivas and this Srinivas? How can I differentiate these two Srinivas? Sir, surname, sir. Point to be noted, surname. Surname might be common. Mohammed Kaif, Katrina Kaif, both are Kaifs, but there are not brothers and sisters. Silpa Shetty, Sunil Shetty, they are Shetty, common. They are not brothers and sisters. So the same surname can be there in Accenture. With my same surname, four people are there. Same surname, four people are there. So I cannot differentiate a person by name uniquely. So that's the reason we will give employee IDs. Employee IDs. So in every table, in every table, there should be a unique identifier called as primary key, also called as unique key. Primary key or unique key. So in every table, there should be an identifier. Note, note. When I say note, these are interview questions. All the note points are interview related questions. We cannot create a table without a primary key in SAP. We cannot create a table without a primary key in SAP. So now what we have to do? we have to give one key field, employee ID, E001, E002, E003, some unique identifier, and I'm calling that unique identifier as a key field. Now I will mention this is employee 1 data, this is employee 2 data, this is employee 2 data, this is employee 3 data. Like this, I will maintain the data. So I am splitting the data into multiple tables. I am splitting the data into multiple tables, and I am calling this data as a master data, and I am calling this as transaction data. In SAP, we cannot create table without a primary key. What will be the key field for this table? What will be the key field for this table? Anyone? Anyone? What will be the key field for that table?
Employee ID.
Again,
Employee ID.
observe carefully the definition of the key field. Whenever you make any field as a key field, suppose in this table I made employee ID as a key field. In this column, it should not allow one more E001. It should not allow one more E001. If it allows, it is not called as a key field. Whenever you make any field as a primary key, in that column data won't repeat. So in this column E001 won't repeat. Now, if you make this as the key field, employee ID as a key field in this table, how can you maintain one more attendance? How can I maintain one more attendance?
Employee ID and dates.
So that's the point. So when you come for the interview, I will give you this scenario like this and ask what will be the key field. In a hurry, people will do the same mistake. Everyone will say EID is a key field. Okay, in this table, EID is a key field because one employee should not be given to multiple people. But here, one employee can have multiple attendance, every day one attendance. Every day can have one attendance. So to allow, we have to take these two fields as a key fields. So one more note. Key field need not be a single field. It can be a combination of one or more fields. In this example, this is the key field. In this table, one field is the key field. In this table, two fields are the key fields. Employee master table, employee transaction table. Simple rule, blind rule. In transaction table, one field will never be the key field because one person can have multiple transactions. So definitely multiple fields will be the key fields. So in this example, these two fields are in the key fields. One more interview question. Note, in SAP, maximum of 16 combinations 16 combinations can be part of key field. Maximum 16 combinations will be the part of a key field. So these are the points you have to remember when you design a database. When you come for the interview, the questions will be like this. Bank sector. Now case study, this is case study 1, this is case study 1, this is case study 2. Banking sector. I want to store the name of the customer, the country of the customer, the city of the customer, next the gender of the customer, the phone number of the customer, address of the customer, transaction date, transaction type, transaction amount. So if I want to create a table like this, how many tables? First question, how many tables shall you create? So rule 1, we should never create a single table. Because if I am Srinivas, on the same day, 1st August, I can credit some amount as well as I can debit some amount multiple times. Multiple times I'm crediting, multiple times I'm debiting. So whenever I credit or whenever I debit, my name, country, city, gender, phone, address won't change. For every transaction, my address, etc. won't change. So if you store the entire data in a single table, data will repeat, duplication of data. So in all scenarios, minimum to minimum 2 tables will come. Minimum. So in this exam, maximum it will change. So tomorrow it will change to more. How it will change more, we'll see in the coming classes. But as of now, minimum 2 tables. One is master data. Another one is transaction data. So master data, transaction data. Now, master data. Every customer should have unique identifier. So I'm calling this as account ID. Whenever you split the data into multiple tables, at least one common field should be there in both the tables. So whatever is a unique identifier, I'm using the same thing here also, account ID. Now, account 001, AC 001, Srinivas. AC 002, Raj. Every person will have a separate account. So I'll make this as a key field. In the account master table, this is the key field. Now in the account transaction table, what will be the key field? Anyone? Account transaction table, what will be the key field?
Account ID, transaction ID, sir.
Transaction ID.
Account ID, transaction date.
Now, one person said account ID, transaction ID. Account ID, transaction ID. Let's assume he is correct. Let's assume account 001, transaction ID 001. Account ID 001, transaction ID 002. So now if you see, this looks correct. Now account 003, transaction 001. Sorry, account 002. Account 002, transaction 001. Account 002, transaction 002. Can I generate the same transaction ID for two people?
No.
So it looks correct. What
Transaction
happens?
date.
What happens if you generate the same transaction ID? You are calling a customer care. Now here this guy has deposited 1 lakh. 1 lakh. Here in transaction 1, this guy has debited 1000 rupees. He has some problem with his account. He's calling. He's saying transaction 001 is not posted. Post it once again. So he will post 1 lakh. Confusion. Because of confusion, there can be. So transaction ID cannot repeat. But if you do it like this, it might repeat. So this will be the issue. So already yesterday I told you, we should never use transaction ID as a part of a key field in banking sector. Never use transaction ID concept in a banking sector. It is good in sales, etc., but not in banking sector. Point to be remembered. Phone numbers cannot be part of a key field. Transaction IDs cannot be a part of a key field in the banking sectors because phone numbers keep on changing and we should not generate the same transaction ID for two people. But if you take a table like this, it can generate. It will generate. See here, it is allowed. It should not allow. So now one person said transaction date account 001 on 1st August. 1st August. He went to the shop and he went to the bank and credited 5,000. Again in the evening he is going. Again in the evening,
Time also we need to increase.
yes. 1st August credit. If you take these two, it won't allow multiple transactions per day. It will allow only one transaction per day. We have to allow multiple transactions. Suppose I take these three as a key field. Suppose if I take these three as the key field, one credit, 1 debit per day. 1 credit, 1 debit per day. Suppose if I take these 4 fields as a key fields. Now, if I went to the shop and purchased 1000 rupees, allow. Again, I am going to the shop, one more shop, and again I am buying one more item worth 1000 rupees. It says, sorry, you already did 1000 rupees transaction. You should not do 1000 rupees transaction once again. So your table is deciding how you should do the transactions. Now I can buy an item of 1000 once again, but your table is not allowing. So I have to buy either 900 or something. Now again I'm going to one more shop and buying 900 item. It will say, no, you cannot buy 900 item, pay extra. How it is? So choosing the combination, key combination is always the challenge. It's not so much simple. So here we have to take the time extra to solve our purpose. We are taking one more time. Insert time. So now these 3 fields will be the key fields. So now in the transaction table, 3 fields came into picture. 3 key fields came into picture. So for the first person who comes for the interview, I will ask this scenario. For the second person, because he goes out, automatically people who are standing out will ask some questions and they'll prepare the answers. So ultimately when the second or third person comes, I will change the scenario. I am asking this scenario. Once he goes out, again the people who are standing outside will ask the questions. So they will prepare the answer and come. So that's the reason for the third person I will ask one more scenario. If I want to create the table like this, I want to store roll number, class, section, name of the student, father name, his phone number, his address, okay, and which subject, what marks. In a school, for a school database, I have to store a database in which I can store student roll number, subject, marks. Which subject, how many marks. If this is the table to be created, how many tables? Question 1. How many tables? Question 2.
Two
What are the
tables.
key fields for each table? Okay, tell me the first table.
Roll number,
Roll number,
class,
class,
section,
section,
class section, name, father,
name,
phone number, address.
father, phone number, address. First table. Second table.
Roll number,
Roll number,
class,
class,
subject and marks.
subject, marks. Now what is the key field for first table?
Roll number and class and section.
Roll number, class and section.
Yes.
Roll number, class and section. What is the key field for this table?
Roll number and class.
Roll number and
And we
class.
need extra. Yes.
Hmm.
We need one more extra admission ID.
Where? Which table?
In both the tables.
Admission ID. Hmm. Admission ID. So admission ID is a part of a key field?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Admission ID is also part of a key field. Now,
Here, yes, sir.
so in this table, what's the key field?
Admission, roll number and class.
These 3. Let's assume you are correct here. Admission number 001, roll number 1, class A, class 1, maths. Admission number 1, class 1, roll number 1, class 1, science. Admission 1, class 1, physics or chemistry, whatever it is, chemistry. Will it allow? Duplication. Once you enter the maths marks, will it allow science marks?
No.
You said this is the key field. Now first drawback. Second drawback. Admission 1, ADM 001. Roll number 1, ADM 001. Roll number 2, ADM 001. Roll number 3. If I do the data entry, it will take this one, it will take this one, it will take this one. Shall I give the same admission number to multiple people?
No.
But your table is allowing. If you do the data entry, it will allow. Already I told you, master table will have blind rule. Master table will always have a single field as a key field. Transaction table only will have multiple fields as a key fields. This is not a transaction table. This is a master table. Master table should have only single field as a key field. If you take this as the key field, it won't allow duplicates. If you take this as a key field, it won't allow duplicates. Yes, but you are taking combination as the key field. It is allowing duplicates. So automatically what I say, I will say that you don't know how to create a table. You know how to create a table, the steps, the screens. But first thing is, this is the analysis you have to do. So this is the assignment for you. Take your time and try to analyze and tell me the answer tomorrow. Tomorrow, whatever we have analyzed, practically we'll create those. Like this, at least some 6-7 scenarios I will be covering for table design. Day 1. Now, example, when I started this employee table, you started blindly that employee ID will be the key field. But when I came to the second table, automatically you started thinking one field will be the key field, or 2 fields will be the key fields, or 3 fields. Like this, if you do multiple scenarios, the way you think will change. So at the end of 2 weeks class, you will understand, okay, every table won't have a single field. You can only tell how the key field combinations will change. Okay. Now, during the class, definitely either due to, now one thing, some people, what they will do, they are listening in their mobiles. So when you come to the Geo or etc., the first 15-20 minutes, it will be very fast. Slowly, the bandwidth will reduce. Automatically, there will be disconnections. Your voice, etc., won't be clear. So make sure the next 3-4 months you are taking a special internet connection. Sir, money waste. Unless you invest, you won't get returns. First, you have to invest. Then only you'll get returns. So take a nice broadband connection so that the disconnections won't happen. But still, due to power cut in the area or somewhere, now we have a power backup, but my side house where the repeater is there the power is not there. So when the power is gone, it is restarting. So for 2-3 minutes our net will be disconnected. So now the same thing happened. So like this, some issues will be there. So that is the reason we are sharing the video also. So if you are taking leave for 1 day, it's not a big deal, no problem. But if you take 2-3 days leave, before coming to the next classes, complete the previous class videos and come. Revise it. Before sleeping, revise the topics and remember these note points. These note points are interview questions. If you listen to my 100 classes perfectly, and if you can remember all the note points, no need to prepare any other course, or no need to open even any other book. No need to open FAQs. The interview questions also will be covered. From day 1, you can start practice. You can start work in the real time with 3+ or 4+ years of experience. If you follow the class carefully, simply coming to the class and going won't give you anything. Today's topic, practice it today. That means when you are free, when you are watching a TV also, you can analyze it. Take a pen and a paper and analyze it. Okay. So tomorrow I will explain, tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Tomorrow I will show you the practical part. Day after tomorrow I will show you this analysis, and we'll see one more scenario as assignments. So if you are not interested in doing the assignments, it's waste to join the course. Now only I'm telling. Doing wrong, not a problem. Not doing at all is the problem. If you do wrong, I'm here to correct you. But if you don't do, you'll never know whether you understood the subject or not. So that's it for today. I don't have all the mail IDs. So whoever has already shared the mail IDs yesterday, day before yesterday, I have already shared the demo class videos for them. For those, I will share the class videos also. Whoever want it, send the mail ID, either to Nani or to me. Preferably, if you send it to me, I will send the video by afternoon. Any doubts? Okay, thank you. Catch you tomorrow.
So can we open once sheet 3?